afternoon/day/morning/night, folks. Welcome to another WarCry battle report from Semi-Casual Gaming with your host Nathan. This is the second part of the three-game Gauntlet series where I feature the Scions of the Flame facing off against my other warbands. You see, the ogres are not on here. They were the first battle as they tried to steal a treasure away from the Scions. Well, long story short, they were not able to. The Scions managed to fend them off and have thus moved on to the second round of the tournament. So now we're going to have either the Cities of Sigmar or the Legions of Nagash go into the second round. Will depend on the dice rolls, as we did in the first round. In the meantime, our deployment type is this. It's kind of annoying. This is the terrain deck for the Defiled Ruins, but they also have terrain featured from the WarCry starter box, which I don't have. So it's like my wife ended up drawing like 4 cards to try and find one that wasn't in the box. But here's the one that we have. So here is our deployment with the, kind of the courtyard of the king or the emperor or whatever you want to call him. A couple of old buildings and then the big walls through there. No entryway through that side, but there is an entrance on this side, which is kind of important to note, and pretty open to get to the center of the table either way. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and roll off really quick to see which side will get to go first. And like a derp, I left a bunch of dice in my tray, so I'm just gonna roll on the table. Blue, Cities of Sigmar will face off against the Scions of the Flame. I'll pull the teams out, get their 3 groups put together, and then we will get rolling into the first battle round and all the card stuff. So here we go. Okay, so we've got the 2 teams split up here. We'll just go over really quick. My dagger for this game will be the Inferno Priest, the Immolator, and the Initiate with the Fire Pot. The shield is going to be the Blazing Lord with both Fireborns. How I modeled this one's one of the custom ones, and this one I gave the Chris, so it has like -1 strength to +1 crit damage, so the potential of putting out a good amount of extra damage. And the hammer is going to be the Brazen Champion, and then this Initiate, which has 2 combinations. Actually has 3 technically, but the third arm's kind of useless for this guy. So I modeled him with the Morning Star, but I actually gave him the Burning Pot. So I grabbed the wrong card this time. My intentions for this game was to actually make this one the Flaming Pot champion card. They have the same point value of 55, so I'll switch it out in just a second. But the strategy for this game is that each of the groups has somebody that can throw a firebomb, which can do some bonus damage. I realized in my last game that I recorded, I was doing the damage incorrectly, so it was kind of a derp move on my part. I was doing it as half value, but it's actually full value, so it actually would have done a lot more damage than the previous game. It didn't really change the outcome, but nevertheless, so I tried to mix it up a little bit. I'm kind of a sucker for always putting the Warlord or the Warlord in the shield. It's just how I do. I'll probably mix it up for the next game just to force myself to mix it up for the next game. So just kind of trying to mix, we'll try the combination. We'll see if it works. I mean, it all depends on what gets drawn over here, of course. So the Cities of Sigmar. Now, a couple of things. This one is actually based off of the White Dwarf book, so I don't have the cards for them. You might be wondering, well, why don't you use those new books they got out? Well, I'm not going to pay $40 for one army for books, and I now have an army for all 4 Grand Alliances. Well, I'm not going to pay that much money, because it'd be almost the same cost as a Mega Gargant to get the book supplements for it. So when my gaming club starts to get a little bit bigger and makes it more justifiable, I'll probably do that. The other things you might notice, they're all on square bases. Well, I've talked about in the past, this is a Project Army. I really think these guys are going to get circle bases someday. I think when I can find my other halberdiers, because I actually have a box of the more modern halberdiers, and clean up the paint jobs, actually make this into a good, decent looking warband. But for now, they're markers for a game, and it works for me. So the dagger, the shield, the hammer are all going to be relatively similar. The dagger is going to have a handgunner, painted by my lovely daughter, a halberdier, which I accidentally broke the halberd right before the game because that's just how life goes, and a greatsword. The shield is going to have 2 halberds, a handgunner, and the guild champion. That's the greatsword champion version. I just really like this model. Got it from a eBay purchase. It's metal. It's just beautiful looking. I love it. And the hammer is going to be 2 greatswords, a halberd, and a handgunner. Normally I spread everything out identically, but this time just for my own purposes, I changed it up. And since I don't have cards like these for tracking hit points, basically how I'm going to do it is this is going to be for the greatswords, dagger, shield, hammer, handgunners, dagger, shield, hammer. And I guess it doesn't actually work because I usually have a greatsword in each group. So dagger, hammer, dagger, shield, hammer for handgunners, and then dagger, hammer, or shield, hammer for the halberdiers, and then number 6 is going to be the champion for tracking the wounds. I'll see if it even matters. I mean, this game, depending on the mission, you don't even do a lot of fighting. You kind of do more running around trying to claim objectives and stuff. So, yeah, with that being said, I usually move these up to the middle, but in my hubris for recording, I didn't think of it in time, so. Okay, let's go ahead and see what our deployment is. Fog of War. Okay, so another. It is a mirror match. So, I'll go ahead and do what I did last time. The red's going to be the Scions of the Flame. The blue's going to be the Cities of Sigmar. So that will go there. I think kind of a nice use of the field, especially with that big decorative setup. So, for the victory on here, the hunted. The players roll off and the winners choose. Well, I'm going to drop the card more, so I'm just going to go like this. The players roll off and the winners choose who the attacker and who is the defender. At the start of the combat phase of the second battle round, the defender picks a fighter to be the hunted one, and they must be on the battlefield. So they become the assassination targets. So, that should be pretty fun. We're going to go ahead and roll off. I think both sides have some, I mean, they're relatively the same defense, but there's just different attack methods. Whoever rolls higher will be the attacker. Red. So the red will be attacker, so the Scions of the Flame will be hunting someone in the Cities of Sigmar to take down and wreck their forces. So we'll see who it is later. Set that there. And now for the twist. Blizzard. Oh boy. Let me just set that down as one that's with a lot of stuff going on. No ability or attack action can be used to target an enemy fire more than 9 inches away this battle, which handicaps the handgunners by like an inch, I think. In addition, after a fighter's activation, if they did not make a move activation, roll a dice. On a 1, deal 3 damage to that fighter. So the hunted ones can't just camp out this game. They have to keep running or else they can get themselves chopped off the table. So, alright, well, it looks like we're having a game of fire and ice. Okay. I'll go ahead and get the table set up, and then we will go ahead and roll dice for the initiative. So, we will come back shortly. Alright, so we begin the starting 2 teams. The daggers are roughly 8 inches away from each other, so they're squaring off, ready to fight. The shields are on the opposite ends. The cities over there, the Scions over here. They appear in round 2 alongside the hammers, which cities is over here, and Scions is way over there. So, and how the victory condition goes is the start of the combat phase of the second round, which means that all those guys are going to appear on the table, and then we pick who is the fighter that needs to be chased from the Cities of Sigmar side. So we got some ideas, but we're not really 100% certain, especially kind of depends on how the first round goes. The first round should be really quick, so let's roll into it. Scions, again, are being the attackers, or the challengers of the overall gauntlet, so they get to roll the initiative first. Ooh, a triple, a double, and a single. I'm going to have to move those guys out of the way for a second. And now the cities, they have 2 doubles and 2 singles. So they get to pick their wild dice first. And for this game, the green dice will be for the cities, the yellow dice will be for the Scions. They are going to go ahead and start with... We'll give them a double. We'll give the double 6 to a triple 6. See if we can do some blat blat. And because I'm super tempted and that model's on the table already, we gotta go for that quad. Oh. It has a range of 3 inches. Now, do I skew the odds just to see if it can happen and have somebody run for it? No. We're gonna say, oh, do you want to use it? Nope. We will make it a 3 so that we have access to the Inferno ability for the Immolator. So, so sad. Okay, with that being said, the city's player will get to go first. So we'll take a look here. Let's see. Who do we want to go first? We can go ahead and we'll have the Great Sword activate first. He's going to do sort of a double move. So we're going to go 4. And then essentially we're going to put him right over here. So we have a plan. The next guy who's going to go first, we've got to get our long tape measure out. They are within 10 inches, so we'll go ahead and move 4 inches. We'll activate this one. So 2, 4. Then we're going to activate the triple 4 and actually make it into the double, the throw firebomb. We're going to target the halberdier. So I roll 2 dice, and on a 4 to 5, I deal 1 damage. On a 6, deal 4 damage. So double 6s would not drop the guy, but it would severely hurt him. Alright, so he takes 1 damage, so halberdier is taking 1. And then we're going to go ahead and move again. Actually, we'll just go 4. Actually, I forgot that halberds have a 2-inch reach, and so you may not want to go right into there. So he'll go right there. That'll be his activation. The next one will be halberd, because that's more interesting, where he's going to come up and be approximately 2 inches away, but outside of 1 inch, and he's going to attack. But we have to look up his profile because it's been a while. So he has 3 attacks at strength 4. The initiate has toughness 3, so 3 attacks hitting on 3s. These. Let's see how much damage he does with 1 chop. So 4 and 5, he does 2 damage to that initiate. Initiate. Doesn't sound right if you don't listen quite well enough. So, alright, they both popped a couple of wounds off on each other. The next one to move is going to be the we'll just do the Immolator. He's just going to do a double move. So, and we'll just get the timber out. His intentions are very, very straightforward. Oh, no! You stay. run and burn things. And alright, so the handgunner is going to go ahead and stand and shoot, and we will actually go ahead and use their 666 at this time to do a volley of shots, which gives him add half the value of the ability to the attack characters of the next attack action made by this fighter that targets an enemy fighter more than 3 inches away. So they are just barely more than 3 inches away. So he's going to open fire. He has 2 basic attacks. So now he's going to have 5 attacks. I'll grab these 3. I'll pull that one out. They are at strength 4. The immolator is toughness 4. So 4 is 5's better. Ooh, double 6s. So that is 3 damage per 6. That's 3, 6, 7, 8. 8 damage. That puts the immolator at half wounds. Now, the question is, does he move and try to escape, or does he stand still with hopes of not getting frosted by the blizzard? The answer to this will be, let's shoot. Looking for 4s, 5s, and 6s. Double 6 and a 4. Nope. Alright, he does 1 more wound, so the immolator's taken 9 damage so far. Pretty gnarly. Alright, and the priestess is going to go ahead and go next. And we're just going to go ahead and use the triple for a +2 to move. I should have done it for the immolator. Then he wouldn't have been nuked. But, you know, that's just kind of how these things go. So we're going to go like 10 inches right about here roughly. Which, you know, we'll see how that turns out. So with that being said, that is the end. As I try to drop my tape measure. The end of battle round 1. Some shots have been fired, literally. 9 damage to the immolator, 2 damage to the initiate, and 1 damage to the handgunner. I'll have to look back at my video and double check. So, alright, I'm going to move everybody onto the field. We'll show the final position and then do the pick and roll off for the next round here in just a minute. Okay, so here is the setup. Shield, their hammer, their shield, the hammer. At this point, with them being set up, the Cities of Sigmar player is going to choose the hunted one, and it's going to be the unit champion. That being said, because I have more guys trying to go towards the corner, thinking maybe I would choose one of those, but really I forgot that the champion or the character has to be more than 4 inches away from a table edge, or else they're considered down. So I mean, he'll do a double action his first move, but a double move probably. But either way, they are lined up accordingly. We'll see where people are going to end up going and such. So in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and pull our wild dice out. Saving the one, pulling the other. Alright, 2 doubles, 2 singles. I feel like it's a pretty common one for me to roll. As in the last game, I think I rolled that about half the times in total. And a double and 4 singles. So, okay, well, the Cities of Sigmar player will definitely get to activate first. They have 2 wild dice, and we'll go ahead and do a quad 4, and we'll save the next one. Now there are 4 battle rounds in this mission, unless the target, the guild champion, gets taken down, then the attacker wins. But honestly, I don't really. It might be a pretty tricky one. We'll see how well the Scions can fight their way over. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and make a 666, because that's always exciting. So, with that being said, we'll pull the saved wild dice off, so they will have another wild dice for next round, and the Cities Sigmar player gets to go first. So, alright, well, I think... Oh, I just remembered, I forgot to roll because the handgunner didn't move in the next round. That wasn't really... Okay, well, that... Because it didn't really roll the first time. Okay, he'll take 3 damage, because honestly, it's 3 damage for a handgunner, and they tend to stand back and take a lot of tanking, so... Okay, so the handgunner is actually going to go ahead and activate first. We will just do a regular shot to begin with, so we've got 3 dice. We're going to target the immolator again, looking for 4s, 5s, and 6s. He has only 6 wounds left, so double 6 will take him down. Nope, so that is 1 more damage, putting him up to 10 damage. And I'll go ahead and activate the triple. I was planning on saving the triple for something else, but I'll use it to try and take out the immolator. Alright, he gets volley of shots again. 6 and a 4. That's only 4 damage. To 10, 14. He has 1 wound remaining. Haha. He is clinging on barely. Barely. Alright. And I accidentally used the Cities Sigmar's dice. I just realized that right now, like a moron. Good job, Nathan. So, it would have been 1 less dice in the roll, so what we're going to do is we'll re-roll it, because... And that actually would have killed him, because we'll tell you what. We'll just follow through with it, because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that actually will take down the immolator. So, my apologies, folks, for my erroneous ways. I hope you all can forgive me for my sins. That being said, that was kind of a shame, because I was hoping to use his triple immolation to actually immolate, so we might take a quick pause as my phone's battery is dying. What we'll do is we'll probably go ahead and take a pause. We'll just do an end of turn recap right now, because I am running out of battery, and then I'll charge my phone up during the break. So we will come right back at the end of battle round 2. Okay, so quick recap. Basically, the Great Sword over here went to engage the Blazing Lord. I think he did like 4 damage to him, which was a good hit. The Blazing Lord and his 2 associates, however, returned fire, and actually the Blazing Lord, I think, single-handedly chopped down that one, and then another one came over to block, and the Blazing Lord used his triple Ignited Fervor, which gives +1 to attack actions for nearby friendly fighters with melee attacks, and the 2 Fireborns with him chopped down the other, so both those guys got chopped down towards the end there. The handgunner in the corner stood, fired, shot into the Fireborn up closer, and popped off like 5 wounds, which was surprisingly effective with double shots and such. The handgunner here, stood earlier. I did that. These guys moved forward to screen. The champion had to come inside. I was actually going to sit behind the wall, but he was just touching the 4-inch marker, so he had to come inside. The handgunner came up here and shot that initiate off the board, so he's down. The Infernal Priest ran through the middle, got past him because there was just enough of a gap, but he's now facing down 2 halberds who are within 2 inches to chop him. Used a rush action on the champion to try and make him be relevant, and the initiate's just kind of dawdling behind. So, there's still lots of bodies on the table. Otherwise, both sides have taken a couple casualties, and there are wounds all around. But we're going to go ahead and go on. We're heading into battle round 3 at this point. There are 4 battle rounds, like I mentioned earlier, and that champion has to stay near the middle of the table. So, double and 4 singles. Just when I really would have liked to have seen a quad. That would have been pretty fun for the Infernal Priest, but I was actually going to laugh if there was a quad right there. I'd be like, not the right team. But either way, another double and 2 singles. And once again, we have 2 wild dice for the blue player and 1 yellow dice for that player. So, looking around, I'm actually thinking, since the red player is going to get to activate first, we're going to just make a double 6. See if we'll throw a firebomb at somebody, and we'll go ahead and make a triple 4 for more handgunning, shooteriness, and we'll make a double 5. So we've got those lined up. So the Scions, I keep forgetting the name of them. I just keep thinking of them as like the fire dudes, like the hot-headed ones, you know, silly things like that. Anyways, Scions of the Flame get to go first. And unfortunately, again, with my battery dying, I do have to plug it back in while I do the next turn. So we'll do a quick recap of the bottom of 3. My apologies. So here we go. Okay, end of battle round 3. A lot more exciting stuff happened. Of course, the game where I'm running out of battery and can't record all this stuff, all the more interesting thing happened. For example, this Chris guy got a boxcars against the halberdier and one-shotted him, did 10 damage and just killed him. The handgunners, their guns are clogging up from the snow, from the blizzard. They all failed their shots. The Brazen Champion ran forward. He attacked, knocked him down to like 15 wounds, or like lost 15 wounds. He had 3 wounds left, and then with the combined attacks and firepower, he only got knocked down to 17 wounds taken. 1 wound left. He's still standing, just barely. The handgunner hopped down to try and shoot at him, failed. That handgunner stood and shot at him twice, but didn't freeze again. That halberd stabbed and did a good chunk of damage to the Inferno. Actually, had 12 damage. Just by standing and stabbing. And so the Inferno Priest, however, returned fire and actually one-shotted the other halberd with their range attack, because surprisingly enough, the melee attack for the Inferno Priest is surprisingly strong with 2s and 4s, and I rolled 2 6s. He has 3 attacks, 2 6s, and 3 or 4, something like that, and just one-shotted that guy, so he fell back. Forcing my handgunner to try and choose targets. So if I get a quad next round, he could potentially nuke the champion and win the game, but we'll see how it goes. Otherwise, my Blazing Lord wasn't quite close enough. If that Fireborn wasn't in the way, he could have walked right up and chopped apart the Greatsword. The other Fireborn stepped forward, did some damage, but the Greatsword killed him because he had already taken some damage from previous firepower. So yeah, we've got 3 down and half are wounded. We've got 4 down and half of the remaining are wounded. So good bloody game. In the meantime, we're going to go quickly roll this. So no quads this game. That's sad. I could have taken it early, but it doesn't work very well when it's only a 3-inch range on that Inferno Blaster. And a triple, and a double, and a single. Oh, that was triple 5s. And my klutzy hand as I'm focusing entirely on it, because I'm looking at my hands, not the camera. Okay, each one has 1 wild dice left. Go for the quad, because that's always fun. And we will, since they can keep that. There's really no reason to do the triple, because it's not really amazing for him. But we'll keep that double. We'll make a double out of the 6 as well. And that actually puts it to the point where there is a roll-off. So you get to go first. Alright, Scions of Flame go first. Alright, big guy. Do your best. We're gonna do the... Let's see, is the beheading strike going to be worth it? It'll be +3, but that means I'd have to roll 6s. We'll just use the double for the onslaught for him. He's going to try and one-shot that character. We'll see how it goes. So we've got 4 attacks at strength 5 versus toughness 4. Where are we? Oh. So 3, 4, 5, 6s. 6s do 6 damage. Ooh. So that is 12 damage. And if he rolls that again, it's a win. Oh my goodness. 2, 4, 6, 12. Actually, that's 3 damage each, so that's 3, 6, 9, 15. That. Well, that was a turn of events. Well, look at that. I'm kind of shocked. Well, the Brazen Champion did what I think the Brazen Champion's supposed to do. And that's hit with 6s and 3s and do crap ton damage with having 1 wound left on him, no less. Guess what, guys? The Scions of the Flame are 2-0. They are pushing their way right through this gauntlet. There's definitely a lot more carnage this game. I apologize that I just didn't have the battery life to do this, so that's my own fault for trying to record 2 games back to back with a camera or with a phone that only had like 40% to begin with. So, my apologies. It was the best game of my entire life. I will never relive this game. I'm just kidding. It was just a good game. But, so the cities get taken down. So we are left with our final opponent waiting, lurking in the shadows. The Necromancer and his, skeletal posse. I was going to use other words, but I realized it wouldn't sound very good. So we will see how that goes. In the meantime, guys, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and we will keep pumping out more of these reports because WarCry is just super fun and awesome. So, okay, guys, thank you. Bye-bye.